everyone, welcome to episode 82 of the Arieknits podcast. My name is Ariel and this is a video podcast where I talk about all the things that I have been knitting and spinning on for the past week. And I actually didn't have an episode last weekend, and I was supposed to post instead a spinning video with my Rolegs. It was that spinning video, and because it's been a while since I spun that, and I had what I thought were all the clips recorded, and when I was editing it, I realized I didn't have footage of the finished skein at the end, and I just did not have time to film it, so I apologize. I said I was going to post that last weekend, and it didn't happen, and I'm hoping that it'll happen within the next couple of weeks, but we will see. You might notice that things are looking a little different right now, and they might start to look a little different in the near future. I moved. That is kind of why I've been so busy lately, and which maybe you didn't realize because I didn't say anything about it, but I moved, and now I'm really excited about it because I get kind of like my own crafting room now. And I get to actually have some yarn on display behind me for my video podcast. And I'm still trying to figure out where I want to put everything in this room and how I want to film and where, with the window and lighting and stuff. So the lighting might be kind of strange. I'm going to try and figure it out. Might move some things around. But I'm really excited about it. And yeah, I'm looking at the camera. I'm like, it looks really nice and organized right now, but what you don't see is just a whole bunch of trash bags still filled with yarn and all of my previous finished objects that still don't have a place yet in my new home. But hopefully, slowly but surely, they will find a place and hopefully have a nice way of displaying it in my podcast here. I'm very, very excited about it. And so yeah, I hope that kind of explains why my background looks a little different. And yeah, let's get right to it because I've been pretty busy the past couple of weeks. It's been a little stressful and I still have things to do today, and so I need to get this wrapped up a little bit quicker. And it's been 2 weeks, but I haven't had much knitting time, and so there's no new cast-ons, but I did make some progress on some of my previous works in progress, and so just want to share with you all and just do a quick update today, and hopefully things will start feeling a bit more smooth and kind of start working out, and that I can knit a little bit more soon. Okay, so I feel like it's only been 2 weeks again, right? But I feel like I'm out of practice. Could just be because I'm in a new space too. But let's start with what I am wearing today. This is also this was a finished object. Was it a finished object? I think it was a finished object last time, but I didn't wash and block it yet. So we'll call this a completely finished object now. I just washed and blocked it last night, and to be honest, it's still a little damp, but I really, really wanted to wear it for you all today. This is the Dew Tea by Fiber Tales. Also, apologies, I'm looking down now because my notes, I don't have a table to put my notes on right now. My camera is also sitting on boxes on a chair, so we're just dealing with it. So the yarn I use for this is Explore Knits Rockies DK in the colorway Snoqualmie, which is a dark green. I'm hoping my lighting right now is a little yellow, and so that the actual color of it's probably not going to be that accurate, but maybe if I shift it a little bit to the side, you might be able to see. I mean, it is a dark green. It is very pretty. I really like it, and I knit size 1. I used US 5 needles or 3.75 millimeter needles to knit this. And I don't know where my tape measure is, so I don't have final measurements on this, but I'm hoping that by the time I edit this video that maybe I'll have it and that it'll be in the description. But it is Positive Ease. It is drop shoulder. It was knit bottom up, and there is just a little bit of some crocheting involved for this pattern. Not completely necessary to knit this. but I think it is like the cutest detail on this top. And so let me stand up now. I like have more room now to stand up and show you what this looks like. So this is the tee. It did grow slightly. I think like with blocking, you know, it just kind of like drapes a lot nicer now. And it's slightly cropped. I think it did grow a little bit lengthwise after washing because it feels like a very comfortable length now. I think before it felt a little too cropped. My belly button is like right here for reference. But yeah, so as far as the crochet edging, it is now laying nice and flat after that blocking, and it goes all the way around. This is the only part that is crochet in this pattern, but I think it's so cute with that scallop edging. And of course the I-cord neckline. It's a very like modest v-neck, which I really like, and then it has the tie in front, and I love ties. I love bow ties. I love bows. I think it's so cute. And you can see the drop shoulder. There wasn't any kind of, you just knit, once you split for sleeves, you knit front and back, and then the only time you pick up around the sleeve is just to do that finishing I-cord around. So I think that ended up looking really nice, and this is the first time I am wearing it, but I think it looks cute. I really like the fit, and I can't wait to wear it on a more kind of regular basis and kind of out and about as well. So it feels really good. I've mentioned this before, but this is the first knitted finished object that I've knit, and I guess I'm now wearing, that used the Rockies DK base from Explore Knits. And I mean, there's nothing that's like crazy different about it that I can tell as far as like wearing it or from working with it. I think just it is an 8-ply, and so that was interesting. It just kind of like, I don't want to say it split a lot, but if you did kind of like untwist the yarn a little bit while you're knitting or like poking your needles through, like sometimes you'll see that, but I didn't really have a problem with it as far as gauge, because this yarn base is also, it has more yardage than like your standard like DK, which I don't have it on my notes now, but it has more than 231 yards for 100 grams, and I think that that's kind of like what most people's DK yarn yardage is. And so you do get kind of like more yardage with like more yardage per skein with the Rockies DK, and I didn't notice kind of like any gauge problems with the pattern. The pattern did ask for DK weight yarn, and I think it worked out really nicely, and I'm very happy with it. So I think that this is really cute top, and it was easy to put on, easy to wear, and yeah, I'm very happy with it. So that is what I am wearing and my like fully finished object for this week. And speaking of finished objects, I do have a almost finished object. I'm calling it a finished object because I'm done knitting it, done weaving in ends. I just did not wash or block it yet, and this one came as a surprise for me this week. I just kind of like kept knitting on it, and when I had time, like basically all of the progress I made within the past 2 weeks was actually just done this week, since I had a little bit more time this week. But anyway, the Nebula by Andrea Mowry. It is almost finished. I just need to wash and block it. It is so cute. It knit up so fast, and it kind of wasn't, I guess, too much of a surprise that it knit up so quickly, because it is, or at least the way I'm knitting it is Suri held double, and it's a pretty big gauge. Details. Yarn I'm using for this is Explore Knit Suri Alpaca Lace in the colorway Grapefruit, and as I mentioned, I'm holding that double, so 2 strands at the same time. I knit size 2. I used US 7 needles, so it is, a bigger needle. US 7 or 4.5 millimeter needles to knit this. And yeah, that's those details about this top. It is worked bottom up, and it is a drop shoulder, and it has a curved hem. You can see here in the front, it just goes up a little bit, more than the back. I really like that detail. I think it's super cute. And I would say besides like the curved hem at the bottom, I feel like the way the pattern is like constructed is very similar to other Andrea Mowry patterns now that I've knit a few of her sweater patterns. And this one just had a very similar feel, especially like, you know, you knit the body and you, oh, actually the other thing too is there are increases on the body here, which, okay, I'm going to try and hold it up. And you can see I'm not pulling it wider at the top, but there are increases done from the bottom to the underarm, and so it has this kind of a shape to the body. But I guess besides those details, which maybe makes it, you know, it is a whole different pattern than other Andrea Mowry patterns, but it is stockinette in the round. With the increases for the body, you split front and back. You do like those cast on stitches for like the underarm to make that drop shoulder more dropped for that sleeve. And then the top detail, the ribbing detail here at the shoulders, in the front and also in the back, that all was worked very similarly to the oh my gosh, what is it called? I made the sweater, the Andrea Mowry Weekender Crew sweater. The shaping, I'm sure, I didn't look, but I'm pretty sure the stitch counts are different, but the way that it's worked is very similar. So I like that, felt comfortable. For this pattern, there are instructions to also do full sleeves, so a full sweater, but for this one, I thought the color was just so cute and bright, and I know 2 strands of Suri doesn't really make sense for a summer short sleeve top, but I thought it would be cute in a short sleeve with this color, and so that's what I'm doing, and I'm happy with it. So for the short sleeve, all you do is pick up in the round and work the ribbing, so there's no like extra sleeves you have to do. And so that was nice, and that worked up really quickly again as well, and it's so fluffy, it's so soft. I kind of forgot how much I love working with 2 strands of Suri held together, and I am curious to see how hot this is to wear in the summer. And when it's like, I want to know what temperature will feel like the right temperature to be able to wear this, to not be too sweaty, but also not be too cold. But this could also be something you wear, like when it's cold, you wear, and then you wear something over it, like a jacket, or a cardigan, or a shawl to cover your arms if you're cold. So I'm very happy with it. I think I would like to knit a long sleeve version of this as well with some other Suri sweater quantities I have. And for my size, so I haven't weighed my leftover yarn yet, but I only used 4 skeins. I only needed 4 skeins of Suri to knit this, and okay, 4 skeins is kind of a lot maybe, but I did have 5 skeins of this Suri, so I do have 1 full untouched skein left over, but I'm sure I can find a cute pattern to knit with that in the future. But this makes me very happy, and I'm also, this colorway is like me and the Pacific Knit West knitting friend group, a lot of us bought this yarn in different bases, but like the same colorway to knit stuff to be matching, and I love this color so much that I bought it in multiple bases, and so I already knit a tank top in it last year, and I wore it to flock, and I think this year more of us are finally casting on, and some have already finished their tops in Grapefruit, and so I think we'll be matching again in Grapefruit for flock. I don't know if I'll wear this one to flock or my other one, but now I have 2 tops in this colorway, so that's really exciting, and I just love matching with my friends, so that's been really fun. And yeah, this is the Nebula, so I'm hoping by next week I'll get more of myself together. I will wash and block this. Hopefully it won't be a little damp next week, like how I'm wearing this one damp. But I'm hoping to wear this in next week's video so you can see it on me. I think right now, sizing wise, I was thinking about knitting size 2 or size 3, like either one of those would fit into like the range of positive ease that is recommended for the pattern. And the pattern, it recommends like large amounts of positive ease. So yeah, I kind of wonder if maybe for the long sleeve I would go with size 3. But I need to see this blocked first because sometimes my Suri blocks kind of a lot. Kind of all depends. But we will see. We'll see next week. Okay, now getting into my other works in progress. Let's start with my Bennet sister shawl. Okay, nothing super exciting to see here, but I just want to show you all the progress and just kind of like keep you all updated. So this is the shawl, and I think you can kind of see where it's all garter stitch over here, but you can see slowly over here there is a stockinette section that's forming right now and increasing right where that stitch marker is. And I believe this is my stitch marker from last time, and so I didn't really work that many rows, but I wanted to get some of it done, some of it worked on this week, and so yeah, I did that. And yeah, coast to coast yarn, classic sock base, and also eventually for the second half, the Suri cloud base, both in the colorway Milkweed. I love this color. I am realizing I need to do something about my lighting in this room because it is just too yellow. You can't see how pretty this colorway is, but it is a gorgeous light pink, variegated with really cute golden speckles all around. And it's working up so nicely. I love it a lot. And so that's been working up really well. I am just like so excited. I'm almost at the halfway point. You can see this is my first skein, and so once I get really close to finishing that up is when I will switch or start the decreases and onto the second half of the shawl where I add the Suri, and I'm so excited to add the Suri to this because the Suri looks amazing in this colorway, and I just love working with Suri. So that should be pretty fun coming up soon. Oh, and it is one size. It's a one size shawl. I use US 6 needles or 4.0 millimeter needles to knit this, and it is a one size shawl, but I feel like it's very, very flexible sizing wise. You can make it smaller, you can make it bigger, and you can make it use as much yarn as you need to. And if you're tight on yarn, or if you have lots of extra yarn, you can kind of just play around with those dimensions. So I think that that's really nice for that pattern. Okay, next up is, again, this one doesn't have too much progress either. This is the Flaneur top, or the Date Night top by Whileberry Creative. And this is worked top down, and so I'm just going to hold it upside down because I feel like that's the best way to show it, for it to not curl. But actually maybe I can hold it the other way. No, I can hold it this way. So it's not upside down. I don't know why I thought holding it upside down would be better, but I guess I'm knitting it upside down. But this is what I have so far. I guess it looks a little bit longer. I think this is my stitch marker from last week, or did I forget to change it 2 weeks ago? I don't know, but I'm just going to show it to you. I only remember working 2 rows of this potentially from the last time, so I don't actually know, but maybe this week I'll move the stitch marker and then we'll actually know how much I worked on it. But this is worked in Woolberry, Fiber Co., Berry Merino, in the colorway Let's Go Party. Very cute. Okay, I think in the last episode I called this a bright color, and I was like, that's wrong, but I didn't know how to describe it, and I think I was just like, what I was trying to say, or what I meant, was that it's I feel like a pretty saturated color. as far in terms of like my usual colors that I gravitate towards, which are just like light pastels and neutral, just very light colors. This is just like, it is a lot more of a saturated color than I usually work with, but I really like it. I wasn't sure, I wasn't completely sold on this colorway in the skein, but once I started working it up and just imagining it in this pattern, I think it's gonna work out really well. This pattern will have some ruffles around the sleeve in the end, and so it's your pretty like basic tank top, but it does, you know, have a little bit of a thicker sleeve. It's not just like a thin strap, and so that's really nice. And then those ruffles on the sleeve I think are just, it's like that little detail that I really like for my knit tops. And so that is my quick update on that top. And oh, I am knitting size extra small for that one, and I'm using US 6 4.0 millimeter needles for that one. I feel like I've been using larger. I used to be in like the US 3 and 4 needles project, and now I'm kind of, all of my projects are kind of using a little bit larger needles. I guess not all my projects, but just some. Okay, now, I don't know why this wasn't at the top of the list to talk about progress. My third Stella quilt cushion by Laura Penrose. Here's the front that you've already seen from last time, and my progress in the past. Oh no, you didn't. Yeah, okay, wait, it's been 2 weeks, which means I think I finished the front. Because I try to work, I think I had this half done the last time, and then I finished this top part. So now the front is all done. My bad, I forgot. The front is done, and it's the same yarn combinations that I've been using for my other two Woolberry, Fiberco Berry, Cashmere sock for all of the colors, and then my own hand-dyed fingering weight sock yarn for the white color as the main color in the front, and holding double, so it's like DK weight. And then, okay, this was the interesting thing, new experiment for this time around. For this one, I did a yellow color for the back. This is also one of my hand-dyed yarn colors, but this time, the difference is I use a DK weight yarn because I want to do hand-dyed yarn, like my own hand-dyed yarn for the backs of all of the pillows, but I was running out of the fingering weight undyed yarn to finish all the pillows, but I had DK weight yarn. And because I was holding the fingering weight double, I was like, DK weight should work fine, but I wonder if the gauge would be slightly smaller with the DK weight, because I think this DK weight yarn is a little bit of a smaller yarn than the fingering weight held double. But to my surprise, it doesn't seem to be the case. I mean, I'm trying to as far as squishiness, I do think that the fingering weight held double is just a little bit thicker. Just like a little bit. But it's not super noticeable. Like, I don't know if anyone would have, if I didn't say anything, if they would notice that. But gauge is fine. As you can see, the back is working up like same size as the front, and actually maybe a tad bigger. Like, you can see that yellow kind of peeking out on the sides, which is fine. And so it did not knit smaller at a smaller gauge like I thought it would, but it's no big deal. It's actually working out quite nicely. And yeah, so this is how much I worked with one full skein of DK weight. So I got just a little over the halfway point for the back section, and I need to dye more yarn. I only dyed up one skein of this at the time that I did it, and then moving and all of that stuff, I had to put everything away and didn't want, yarn being wet, and I need to figure out, you know, just the whole new process of dyeing yarn in this new space. And so it could be that this coming week I don't get to dyeing the rest of the yarn, this yellow yarn for the back. And so I don't know how much progress I can make on this pillow. But the good thing is I had some buffer time scheduled in, or part of my schedule, for knitting all of these pillows for them to all be ready in time for Christmas, because they will be Christmas gifts. And so I'm not super concerned about having to wait like a week or two. But if I do have to wait a little bit longer until I can dye more of this yarn, I might just start the front of pillow number 4, because I have all of that yarn ready to go. So could be, I just gotta be a little flexible with my schedule for knitting the rest of these pillows. But I'm kind of sad again that the lighting isn't super great right now, but I think this yellow came out really nice. Yellow is not one of my favorite colors. It's just not one of my favorite colors, but I feel like this shade of yellow is something that I can be happy with. And so it's been enjoyable to knit with, and I think part of it too is because I dyed this yarn, that it also makes it just a little more special for me to knit with, and so that's been really nice. And also helps me kind of like knit with other colors that I wouldn't have, I guess, like knit for myself really. But just, you know, I feel like it's always good. Obviously, just knit with whatever makes you happy. You don't have to force yourself to knit with colors that you don't like. But for me, I feel like this change, at least right now, you know, is pretty nice. And kind of keeps me enjoying my projects. And especially for ones that I'm knitting this pattern will be a total of 5 times in the end. And so something needs to kind of like keep me interested in knitting the pillow. So far it's been fine. I haven't really had too much of a, I hate knitting this. Why did I tell myself I'm going to knit 5 of them? So we're more than halfway done with pillow number 3. And I hope I can keep this momentum going for pillow number 4 and 5. Okay, next up. Oh, this is my last work in progress for this week. No new cast-ons. Sorry about that. But I made some cute progress on this. This is the Clover Bag by Sarah Opie. And the yarn I'm using for this is Woolberry Fiber Co. Berry Sock Set so the main color, this pink variegated or speckly color, is called I Don't Doubt, and it was from the Downton Abbey collection. The brown, I forget the colorway name, but the brown is a mini skein, and I finally got to the part where I work with the mini skein as part of this sock set. This is a one size pattern. I'm using US 1 2.25 millimeter needles. It was for the base here, and US 3 needles or 3.25 millimeter needles for the rest of the bag. And oh yeah, did I mention it's Clover Bag? It's a bag. It'll be a drawstring bag, and so it's worked bottom up from the base upwards. And I've worked, I think, a good amount of this bottom part, and I got to, in the middle section of this bag, there's going to be, I think it's 3 rows of these like flower looking color work section. And yeah, I think it looks really cute, and I'm very excited about it. So I kind of basically just got through like that first flower-ish looking section. I mean, is it a flower? I think it kind of looks like a flower, but it's really just like a 4-petaled thing. I like to think of it as a flower because I think it's cute. So yeah, this is how it's working up so far. And it's pretty enjoyable. I don't really like color work. I'll do it if it's really cute. If the pattern's really cute, I'll do it, but it's not. I feel like it makes my knitting so slow, and I just need to like sometimes take a step back and just be like, it's okay. That knitting color work is a little slower than when you're just knitting, stockinette in the round. Because the end result is like super cute. I'm glad that I'm finally working with the mini skein and kind of seeing those color work sections worked up, and I'm really excited for the finished product of this because I think that this is something I'm going to want to knit a lot of. I think it would be great gifts and also just like great bags for myself to hold my other knitting things in, because I have a lot of bags that have knitting stuff in it, but part of me just wants to buy more bags. But I'm like, if I knit my own bag, it's not like I'm buying myself more bags. And they're knitted, so it's cute. And then I'm using my stash. Kind of feels like a win-win situation, so that's kind of nice. And I do have a lot of sock sets that I feel like would be great to knit this bag in. So, yeah, that's how this is going. And I feel like that was probably one of the quickest episodes, or just like, yeah, quickest episodes updates that I have. I feel like, you know, I know what I wanted to talk about. Flock. I didn't realize that Flock Fiber Festival here in Seattle is going to come up so fast. I forgot to mention, I said I moved in the beginning of this video, but I'm still in, you know, the Seattle area. I didn't move states or anything. I'm still in the same state. But yeah, Flock is coming up in a couple weekends, and I feel so unprepared. I don't know what's happening. I haven't fully looked at and planned out who I want to go and see and what kind of yarn I want to buy, I think. But, okay, I haven't done too much planning yet, but I think that this will probably be good for me because I want to try and not buy too many things this year. I think what's going to happen though is I might buy less yarn. I'm hoping I buy less yarn than I did last year at Flock. But I think I'm going to buy a lot more fiber. I think that is what is going to be like the bulk of my purchasing at Flock, just because there's so many yarn dyers, fiber dyers that will be there this year that are bringing in so much like amazing colorways in fiber, and I feel like I need it. I love spinning. And then I say that and I realize I didn't do any spinning in the past 2 weeks, and I've been wanting to, but moving is not really great conditions to kind of stop and do some spinning. So I'm hoping I can do some spinning again this coming week, because I miss it. I want to spin all my fiber, and I have so much amazing fiber. But I do know that I need to buy some of the Hello Lavender fiber. She is dyeing fiber and bringing it to Flock, and I love basically all of her colors in fiber. It's amazing. And so along with the Flock stitch marker that she's making, I really want the fiber that she has, and just like other people. Actually, okay, I think my biggest goal for Flock this year is to visit as many booths of people that I haven't bought yarn from before, like, you know, any product from before, and just like meet new yarn dyers and other products, right, and fiber. Because there are some people that I follow on Instagram, and I see some of their yarn updates, and I just like, especially this year though, I've been really, really trying to hold back, mostly also so that I have more, I was trying to hold back for Flock, because I know that Flock is going to be a little crazy, I think. There's so many great yarn dyers that I want to buy yarn from, and some of them will be at Flock this year. And so I haven't bought from them. I want to buy from them. And so I'm hoping that I can buy a couple skeins or maybe a sweater quantity from some of those yarn dyers. And I need to somehow kind of like plan it out in my head who I'm going to see first, because I think some people will probably sell out pretty early, especially if there's colorways I want. But also at the same time, I'm trying to be like, if I can't get, I don't want to be so tied to a colorway from someone, because if it does sell out, I will be sad. But I'm trying to think of it as like, if they sell out, then it just wasn't meant to be. There's other things I can buy, and maybe that was just the universe saying, I don't need that right now. Also because as I was packing up for this move and, putting all my yarn in bags and then putting them all back up, look how pretty I love all of my yarn. I have so much pretty yarn that I want to use, and I have a lot of it. And so hopefully, I still want to be on track with my goal this year to be, to use more yarn than I bring in for this year. And I haven't done a check on my numbers yet. And I was watching my friend Megan, her podcast, A Naughty Mess. Go check it out if you haven't. And she did her, she was like, the halfway through the year update stats on her goals and just her goals and her yarn tracking and her finished object wearing. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It's like, it is halfway through the year. It is a great time for a check-in on goals. And I don't know if I will do a whole section on it here, just because I just don't know how much time that will take me to go through everything. But it is something I want to just I want to look at some of the numbers and see how I'm doing. I actually have no idea how I'm doing. I think I'm a little behind on using my Woolberry rewind colorways from last year. But I think that I could make it up in the next, this next half of the year. But anyway, but I think I'm good on my spinning goal as far as how much I'm spinning. But I still want to spin more. So, and also Tour de Fleece is over. That kind of came and went. And my goal was to spin every day, and that definitely didn't happen. I think the first week I did spin every day, and then that was it. So, I had a great 1 week of doing that. I'm hoping next year I can be a bit more involved in Tour de Fleece. But yeah, it just wasn't in the cards for me this year. But that's okay. I was busy doing other things. And yeah, I do have to keep this video a little short today, but I did want to give you all just a quick update and just say hi, because it's been 2 weeks and I don't want to leave you hanging for another week. And yeah, I just miss you all, and I will get to your comments soon. I know I'm not the quickest at responding, but I do read all of your comments, and I really, really, really appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how my new crafting room is going to evolve in the next forever long. I don't know how long it'll take me to get it to a place where I like, but I'm so excited that I'll have something that's not just a plain background behind me. And I hope you all enjoy it too. I love being able to look at my yarn like this, and so it makes me very happy. And yeah, feel free to let me know in the comments down below what you've been working on while listening or watching to this podcast. I know it was a shorter one this week, but yeah, I hope to have more progress to show you all next week. And I'll see you then. Thanks. Bye.